Hey guys, welcome back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and you are here. What is today? We are at the Tuesday show, so we're officially beginning the new week. We're live every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. PST, and this is the place where you are learning all about how to master the entertainment business and stay legally protected. We will have that Orko, who's our show producer and music producer, on a little bit later. Now, on the last show on Friday, we had a special guest, Wendy Day, who is a 30-year vet in the music business, and that was just like one of the best interviews that I've personally done. And you guys will be seeing some of those segments going up on the channel in the coming days. So great. If you missed that, you can go and recap, watch the whole thing on Friday's show. But anyway, as everyone's kind of filing in, hello in the chat. Your t-shirt. Yes. Here we go. We're official. I don't know. Should I make this a thing? Do we need to have shirts that you guys all wear while you're watching the show? Thank you very much. Sending you positive vibes. Good morning from David on Facebook, guys. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, but Top Music Attorney on YouTube is the hub. This is the home. This is where you need to come and subscribe. So if you're on Facebook right now, jump ship, come over to YouTube and join the conversation. Now, today in exciting news, we officially hit 44,000 followers on Top Music Attorney. Yay! Thank you guys very much for the support. So as far as the content, I have my Miss Krystle page. I'll show you that in a second. But for Top Music Attorney, I really obviously just focus on the lawyer stuff. So the fun bits that I do to viral sounds, the clips from this show, tips for you guys, and just all the randomness that is lawyer related. And then, for my actual Miss Krystle profile, looks like we hit 140 today as well. So very cool. And this is where I'm incorporating. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. So I did my first live stream. Okay, so I'm gonna hit on this for like 2 seconds. I did my first live stream last Thursday on Miss Krystle Instagram, where I was actually doing a sing-along, doing some of the covers, doing some of my originals, and this is the first time that I have done one of these live streams where I'm singing live for you guys in well over a year. So I gotta be honest, I was taking a deep breath and just kind of going into it. I'm like, whatever happens, the whole point of why I do these live streams here on Top Music Attorney or on Miss Krystle is to connect with you guys. It's for you. So if you liked it, thank you for being there. Yay. And, we'll do it again. I think we're doing it again on this Thursday. So this Thursday at 6 p.m. PST. So if you want to see that, come and say hello. All right, fam. Everyone's coming on in. Hello. Hello from Massachusetts. South Wales. Yeah, so where is everyone checking in from right now? And then I was thinking this, guys, I took a shower like right before the show. So I'm kind of air drying right now still. But as I was showering, I had a thought, and I'm like, I kind of wonder like where people find me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as far as joining the community, being here on Top Music Attorney, drop a quick comment. Let me know how you discovered this channel or me, or what was the origination point. I'm just curious. Oh, everyone is here. Yay. Because YouTube is the best place to be. I do sing as well. And in fact, so last show, we moved the music video segment up because you guys have been liking it. So we put it a little bit earlier in the show. We're going to do that again. And so we'll play the video that we played at the end of last show in the middle of the show today, which is if you guys like Deftones, I did a Deftones cover. So yes, I do sing. And I'm going to force you guys to watch it with me. I'm like Kelly Clarkson, where she performs on her show. I'm like, why not? It's my passion. It's what I love to do. So let's all just do it together. I'm doing great. And in fact, in fun things that I'm trying this week, which we're gonna get into here in a minute, I'm trying new stuff and I'm feeling really good. So as I'm trying all these things to hack my genetics and just biohack and to be strong and superhuman, some of the stuff we're trying is working, fam. I don't know about you. I don't know if any of you are crazy enough to try some of this stuff with me. So, we're We're in on the spirulina. We're in on the no sugar. We're in on completely changing our diets. Ah, Whitney Payton. Yes. Love that. Big heart and love to her. You discovered on Instagram. Okay, that's very good. Yeah, I think my biggest platforms for Miss Krystle are Instagram and Facebook. And then for the YouTube community, or I should say Top Music Attorney, it's YouTube and Instagram. But we growing. Oh, that's great. So I did a cover of Cruel Summer. We have a music video for that on my Miss Krystle YouTube channel. But I'm actually going to attempt to do this live on Thursday. So I'm going to do a cover version of Cruel Summer on the piano, which you guys haven't heard yet. So yeah, you were suggested on LinkedIn. I like that LinkedIn suggesting me. It thinks that I have educational content that will bring great value. So I'll take it. Ohio. So you found on Instagram through Top Music Attorney. Awesome, Sean. Bacon is Ike's passion. You know what? We're here to just embrace everyone and their love for everything. So that's great. David on Facebook. Thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. We have someone checking in. Canada. All right, beautiful. All right, so let's run the intro real quick, and then we're going to be getting into all the stuff and things, and we have a great show lined up for you, so stay tuned. Hi guys, I'm Top Music Attorney Miss Krystle. I'm an entertainment attorney, public speaker, and creator of the Top Music Attorney School for artists and record labels. I'm the owner of Dukes Up Records, and most importantly, I'm an independent artist. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss my weekly videos giving you my best tips on the music business, industry news updates, and teaching you how to stay legally protected. All right. So in something I tried this week to be superhuman, let's talk about B1. I'm so excited about B1 that I told that Orko I wanted to have B1 put on a shirt and I want to wear that. And it's like a real thing. Like I'm that excited about B1. I mention it all the time because, you know, it's one of those things I research something, I get excited about it. And then if I try it and I start seeing results within myself, then I'm like, ooh, this is good because it goes to that goal of how do we become superhuman versions of ourselves. So let me tell you a little bit about B1. All right, so you guys are probably aware B vitamins are so important. Okay, so for your energy, B12 is a big one we talk about, but it's like all the Bs, right? B1, 5, 6, 12, everything. But B1 in particular, I'm finding is one that's like kind of missed. It's not talked about a lot, and especially if you're like diabetic or pre-diabetic, right? We've had conversations on the live stream about that Orko talking about his pre-diabetes and he's working on it. But this is something great for you if that's, you know, that category that you fall in. But in any case, let me talk about it. So the symptoms that you have if you are deficient in B1 include fatigue, irritability, you'll have nerve damage, maybe some tingling, blurry vision, nausea, vomiting, which are pretty generic, right? I mean, you can Google that and that'll be like every syndrome on the planet. But when it comes to the power of B1, right, so it's going to help present, I always say this wrong, that Orko makes fun of me, but Alzheimer's, here we go, I put the Z in, Alzheimer's, so it helps to present, you know, cognitive issues. It's going to support your eye health, you're better, you know, at not only cognition, but learning and memory, digestion, and that's where I'm getting excited because I kind of have like superhuman digestion right now, TMA. But as far as just feeling really good, these are the little things that help. And so particularly with anxiety, if you suffer with anxiety, they say you can get B1 as like these little dissolvable tablets or have it as nutritional yeast, right? So that's like the thing that tastes like cheese. That's not cheese. But you can have it in all these different versions. But it helps to relax you, get your nervous system all calmed down. So I have these pills, these little dissolvable pills, and I've been like popping them. You know, you have like 2 a day when you're feeling a little stressed. I've been forcing that Orko to take them. Like, oh, you're stressed? Here, have some dissolvable B1s. But anyway, I'm super excited about it. So I'm now officially a couple days into this. I seem to be starting all my new things over the weekend. So I'm a few days into this, and I'm going to keep it going. But I've seen such quick results. That's why I get excited about these things. And that's why specifically we are excited about B1 for this week. So I will report back to you guys on Friday. What I ended up ordering is I got not only nutritional yeast from my local like Sprouts. You know, you can health food market. I'm sure it's in the, you know, normal commercial stores as well. But B1 from Amazon, there are these little tablets that dissolve, and they taste great, and I love them, and I'm so excited. So there we go. All right, so we're going to kind of go back to the chat. Let's chat for a second, and then we're going to get into our artist segment today. I'm talking about how to make bands better, and I'm going to talk about it from the standpoint of being an attorney, but also someone who has been in bands, has had a band, and knows logistically from the standpoint of being an actual musician and artist, all the nonsense that comes up with bands. So we're going to talk about it and just be like super direct and abrasive. Yeah, so in addition to the B1, I also take a B complex, and I hate taking supplements. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't like the capsules. I'm like, what is this? I don't want to have this capsule. So I always break them open into my smoothies. That's kind of my hack. So with my B complex, I open it, I have my protein, you know, and all the other jazz that I put in it, but that's one. Hello, I see in the chat, waves. We're going to be getting to the video, so stay tuned. We'll do the video before we bring in that Orko, or after we bring in that Orko. Who knows? Let's just go wild tonight. I see some of you guys are taking vitamin D. Very nice. I had a little bit of a scare, actually. So let me quick story time. So that Orko ended up getting D supplements because I guess he's deficient in D. And they spilled on the floor Kitty Ripley. So when you guys make the super chat donations, you know, Ripley's Kitty, they go to her. I've seen, you know, or showed her on the show a few times. But in any case, Ripley is like knocking shit off of the counters. The D vitamin tablets go all over the floor. And I ended up coming downstairs and I saw her sitting amongst the pills and she was licking her lips. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, did she just, you know, eat the supplements? Because it's one thing, right? If you take one or two as a human, right, overdosing versus an animal. So I'm Googling this. I'm like, you know, could vitamin D supplements be harmful for a cat? And it's like, for dogs, probably not that much to worry about, but for cats, like fatal. So, you know, then I go through the steps. It's like, call the vet. All right, call the vet. And they're like, call poison control. I call poison control. They're like, throw down all your life savings. We do that immediately. And then, so they do this quick calculation and they're like, based on her weight, she's so tiny. She's like 5.8 pounds, which we found out because, you know, I like weighed myself and then you weigh yourself again without the cat. That's how you do it. So we find out her weight. He does his quick calculations. Like, all right, here's the skinny. If she ate one, she's okay. She's going to have an upset stomach. She might vomit, all the stuff. If she ate two or more, it could be really bad. And you need to rush to the vet to like, whatever they're going to do, pump her stomach or whatever. And so, you know, I'm in mommy panic mode at this point because she's like my baby. She's this tiny little thing. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't observe anything, but I saw her licking her lips, which could have been from a number of things, right? Maybe she's like chasing it around and then she eats one and it explodes in her mouth. And so anyway, I was just in a constant panic for about, you know, the following 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, and she seemed to be doing okay. I still think that she may have eaten one, but she's okay. Luckily, we did not have to go to the emergency vet. So anyway, side story. Going off on a little rant there. Oh, look at this. What's up, Kim? You just got the top fan on Facebook. I love that. Thank you very much for being on the Facebook page at all. All right, guys. You guys are so sweet. Oh, I appreciate you being there. Hello, hello. All right, so luckily we're doing good. And with that all being said, we're going to now move into our artist segment. But then what we're going to do after the artist segment is we're going to watch a little music video. We're going to take a second. I don't know if you guys are drinking your tea with me, right? It's like I'm all branded today. Look at this. But anyway, so then we'll get into our new segment. We have some like crazy stuff we're going to be watching and reacting to. That Orko will be on the show. So with that being said, in today's artist tip, I'm going to be discussing how to make your band better and how to do this in 10 very simple steps. Okay, so as an actual practitioner on the side of being an actual entertainment attorney and seeing where all the problems pop up, I am in a unique position to kind of go through this list, which is also going to incorporate the real life logistics of running a band because as an artist myself, I not only have had bands, been in bands, but I've also kind of shifted, you know, how I do my band in, the traditional band sense of like everyone's kind of participating and writing and this and that, to kind of more hired guns. So I have a lot of different perspectives to give on this, but let's jump right into it. So number one, when it comes to making your band better, rethink your band's name. Okay, so what I mean by this is that you likely already have a band name, and even if you don't, this is the same kind of thought process you have to go through. From a standpoint of your band is going to be successful, and your name is your trademark. So the trademark is the most valuable aspect of what you're going to do as a band as you continue to develop. And so what you want to do right now, regardless of where you're at in your band's kind of, growth, is to do a search on the trademark website. So you go to uspto.gov, and there's kind of a drop-down tab for like quick links for trademarks, and there's one called TESS, TESS. So click on that and then go to live trademarks and put in the name of your band. And then put in some variations of the name of your band and see if any registrations come up, right? So if there are names that are either exactly the same as your band, looking to see if is it related to music or live performances or, merchandise. And then you want to make a note of that. Okay, so number one, we do the search on the trademark website, and then we're going to do a search on music platforms, and then we're going to do a search on social media. You have to make sure that your name is very unique and that no one else owns it. Otherwise, you're going to be having a fight. Otherwise, you're going to be contacting my office in, a year or two because you've received a cease and desist, but you've already dumped $100,000 into, your last 3 albums and your tour, and everyone knows you by this name. Okay, so you don't want to run into that problem. So number one, from a legal strategic standpoint, do a search to make sure that your name is in fact going to be, exclusively yours and someone else doesn't already own it. But then also try to make sure that your name is as unique as possible, right? So it's good on 2 fronts. Make sure you have a good name that's going to kind of stand the test of time. And maybe, might not only be kind of fitting for early in this, bands because it's like the young boys. If you're the young boys, that might work. If you're like 16-year-olds, it might not work when you're like 35. But maybe it will. I don't know. Number 2, when it comes to making your band better, decide on the roles. From my personal experience with this, make sure roles in the band are really clear. Not just logistically with like, you're the singer, you're the drummer. That's obvious. I'm talking about the additional stuff that the band has to do, right? So who's doing the social media? Who's helping with, getting the bookings? Who's kind of like the band manager? Because there's always someone. There's always someone who's like way more invested than the other members. And this comes down to deciding on like, what's the goal that everyone has for the band? There seems to always be like one person or a couple of people who are just, this is my passion. This is what I want to do with my life. And then there might be someone else in the band who's like, this is just kind of like my temporary gig that I do as a hobby. And so kind of defining that stuff is going to eliminate, I think, a lot of difficulties that happen when you're like, hey, you don't care. You don't seem to care because you're not putting in that degree of effort. But then by having that conversation, it can lead to good things because you're like, all right, so this is kind of what I'm doing, my role, my responsibility. And then, you can really make some forward movement by having those discussions. So then number 3, stop wasting time on stupid stuff. Okay, so when it comes to things like shows, if you are a brand new band, and you're trying to kind of get your name out there, you're trying to get some experience doing shows to very small stages at horrible hours and this and that. I mean, you just have to pay your dues, right? So go through the process, do those shows. But at some point, when you've been hustling and grinding for like 10, 15 years and you're still taking those gigs at 1 a.m. and there's 5 people in the venue, and then you've spent hundreds of dollars on rehearsal venues to, practice, getting people together, the time, the money, everything taken together, get more strategic, right? So it would be a better use of your time if you, maybe set up some kind of performance that you could, record and have high quality video and audio, and then you disperse it online. And then instead of 5 people seeing, you have 500 people see, or 5,000 people see. So get very strategic with your time and don't just take on and say yes to everything just because. It's very, conditional on where you're at with the band and what you're trying to do and what the goals are. But, I definitely can see that sometimes we get kind of lost in our emotion and our passion without being strategic and like business minded with our decision making. And look, even if you do take that 1 a.m. crap show, in the venue, a good rule of thumb is have someone there to capture it for social media purposes. But make sure that person is not recording you from the side where you can see the band on the stage playing to nothing, right? So even with that, be strategic. Make sure you have your camera person facing just the stage. So we're getting the action, we're getting the performance, and we're having high quality video that we can then use for social media. All right, number 4, when it comes to making your band better, record, okay? So your cell phone, right? Cheapest, quickest, fastest way to record your sessions and your practices. And this is a way that you guys are going to be able to learn and get better really fast, because you'll see where mistakes are happening, or where someone's like playing great, but making a dumb face, right? Or doing something odd that you're not really paying attention to until you have a chance to kind of step back, to listen, to ingest. And, you know, even me as kind of an independent artist, right? So before I do performances, this is something I always do. I'm always recording and watching back, you know, because it helps you just to learn. We always seem to think we're better than we actually are, I find. And so it helps to be a little more critical and to step back and take a look. So also, you know, when it comes to actually in those sessions when you're recording, make sure you're actually working on songs, right? Don't just run your sets from start to finish. I find that a lot of people do that. They're in a rush, they're in the studio. Don't kind of waste the time in that respect. Everyone should be coming to band practice prepared, having worked on the parts, right? You shouldn't be working out little kinks, you know, for one band member for 20 minutes. It's a waste of time. That person should have worked it out before coming in. So assuming that happened, don't just run the set. Actually break down songs. Be like, look, when you messed up that part, let's run it again. Let's run just that part. Let's run just that part. And really work it out, and, you know, think about it as a show. Think about what you're saying in between the songs. So number 5, when it comes to making your band better, show up on time. This is kind of not only a professionalism thing, but it sets the tone. Every person in the band needs to show up and kind of act like it's a job, right? So even if you are maybe a more casual band and you're like, we just want to jam and we're not really trying to big superstars here, nonetheless, still show up on time, act, you know, professionally, and take it very seriously. And that kind of setting of tone is going to be helpful for everything that you do as a band. Number 6, stop releasing music with no buildup. Okay, I understand that when it comes to marketing, that this is a big hurdle that, you know, bands have to overcome, because they don't know what to do, they don't know how to market, and that's why someone on the, you know, band, or maybe you guys should hire someone, whoever it is, designate a person who's kind of responsible of the marketing and can go and watch a 45-minute tutorial on YouTube on how to run a Facebook ad, or what you should post as a band, or what you should post as an artist. There's endless resources, including just on this channel, of, you know, topics and examples and discussions about what you could do, but then you have to actually execute. And the difference between a lot of bands, I think, is if you're not marketing and you're just kind of burying your head in the sand and you're like, we're not going to do that, that's not part of what we do, well, then it's a hobby. Music, the bands, the whole thing that you're doing is just a hobby. Because until you take that action to be, well, we need to be able to get some audience, we need people to see what we're doing, we need people to know about our music, you have to take on that responsibility, and you have to make it a huge piece of what you do as a band. So number 7, when it comes to making your band better, get rid of bad apples. Okay, so, you know, as far as being an attorney, you know, a lot of phone calls that I get from band members are in relation to band disputes, right? So we want to kick this person out. How do we do it? What's our legal liability? You know, and we'll talk about that. But, you know, as far as just kind of pulling off the Band-Aid, what I do find is that when they think they need to get rid of the person, they never do. For whatever reason, they're like, oh, it's not that bad, or we've just gotten used to it. That person's going to drag you down. That person is taking your entire production, you know, from your rehearsals to the, you know, recording of your records to your tour. Everything is going to suffer because you have someone who is very negative or underperforming. I mean, I've experienced this myself, and it's really tough because these people end up becoming your friends and they're your family, and so you feel really bad. But the longer that you wait to kind of cut them from the band or to figure out a legal path forward so you guys can separate, the more that your band is going to suffer. So you have to be willing to make those hard decisions and kick people out of the band when it's time. Number 8, systemize your operation. You have to get really serious about treating your band like a business. Okay, so as far as schedules, marketing, music video releases, music releases, if you don't systematize and have an idea of like how you're running your band, then you're just going to be subject to whatever happens, right? Oh, we haven't had a show in 6 months. Okay, well, have you released music? No. Well, why not? Because we're waiting to get a record label deal. Why are you waiting to get a record label deal? You know, so the story just kind of continues. So you need to always, regardless of what your goals are, act like the record label. Take control. Be releasing music, right? Really be at the forefront of what you're trying to do as a band, and never take that kind of passive position. So sit down with your band, get a schedule, and figure out what it's going to look like for each one of these kind of categories that I've been talking about. Number 9, stop demanding stuff from your audience. Okay, so when it comes to especially your social media, don't just be constantly asking, hey, buy my tickets. Hey, buy my merch. Hey, go and, subscribe here and do this and do that. The biggest value that you're going to be able to get out of your audience, if that really is the goal, is still not going to be in the short term. It's always going to be the kind of long-term play. Now, while you should really care about your audience and you should want to cultivate your audience and that relationship, kind of asking them for stuff is a huge turnoff. And even for you, you get bombarded with advertisements from everyone that you follow, right? And it doesn't feel good to be asked all the time. So as a band, you really need to give back and make that a focus. How do we give back? And sometimes just by, doing a ton of social media, right? That's how you give back. You entertain, you do the songs for the fans, right? You have, them on a live stream. I mean, really, really focus on your audience because they are the reason that you will succeed or fail in the music business. And number 10, when it comes to how to make your band better, get an entertainment attorney. Okay, so as far as I was telling you, people are contacting my office constantly to deal with the problems, not necessarily to kind of, set the groundwork of how we're going to, for example, get the trademark for the band's name, to make sure that the band owns it, to set up an LLC, to put together an operating agreement, which is like the partnership structure for the band members. There's a lot of steps that we can do, but you need someone guiding you through that process and making sure that you're doing it correctly. But then also, if you have an attorney for your band, then that attorney can help with problem resolution. So if you do need to kick someone out, if you do need to handle some kind of situation, something that happens at a live show, you already have an attorney, you already kind of know who to call, and then that person's going to know what to do and how to help you. All right, guys, so that was your 10 steps, I guess it was, on how to make your band better. Let's jump back into the comments really fast. Jay fully agrees. All right, you guys are having conversations. I dig it. Ryan on YouTube, what are we up to tonight? Just got here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are talking about, we're about to be getting into some newsy things. We talked all about B1. We talked about, and actually, I can't believe I forgot this. It's that Orko's birthday week. So we made a mini fuss on Friday about his birthday, which was officially on Saturday, but his birthday week started on Saturday. So he has been making demands up the wazoo, which he should be. But yeah, we're going to be getting into a music video. That Orko, I'll tell you what, before I bring you in, why don't you just start the music video and then we'll all come in together when that's done. So let's do that.
From the day you arrive, I've remained by your side.
Hi guys, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, what's up?
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, so
Ah,
if you guys
I
want to
love
do
that
this thing,
cover.
if you want to do this sing along, we'll be doing that on Thursday on Miss Krystle Instagram at 6 p.m. PST.
Yeah, make sure
So
you're
what's
following. That was
up?
really good. That was really good. Your performance that you did. I liked how casual it was. I got to tell you, I was kind of nervous for you when you were doing that live stream. I liked how nervous that you were. It was very cute. So
I
I
was
recommend
nervous.
everybody go over to Miss Crystal's YouTube channel. It's uploaded there, the full version. She goes through what do you go through? Like blinding lights. Yeah, you have it on
Yeah,
your
so
Instagram too.
this was the first one. I'm gonna do something special this week. So this was the first one that we did on Thursday, and then I posted just a separate little performance the following day. So what I'm gonna do is when we do the live stream, I'm gonna have the fans and followers tell me which is their favorite song, and then I'll do like a special performance of that, and that'll be the post the next day. So that's gonna be kind of like the fun thing that we do.
Yes, no, very exciting. Thank you guys for the birthday. I see the birthday stuff in the chat. Thank you guys. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. I'm still in birthday
yeah.
week, and it's actually one of the first times. Usually I will say I am not very happy on my birthday. I've never been. I've never been an excited birthday guy. I've always been kind of a downer on my birthday. But this year specifically, I'm trying to take more advantage of my
Live
birthday week,
large.
have really being like it's okay to do things, or just kind of accept that it's my birthday. So I'm not really good with it, but I'm trying really hard this year.
No, and we're actually having fun, so
I'm
it's
having a
been
great time.
great.
No, like you've been fantastic. You went and got me some food when I wanted to. You're just being very very agreeable, we'll just say. During
That's
birthday week.
right. That's right. All right, so let's jump into our new segment. So we're gonna start with something that that Orko like came running in. So this had to do with 4th of July, and
Oops,
in Minnesota. Oh, Rip
wrong
is
button.
saying hi. All right, so Minnesota, fireworks were shot from multiple cars throughout downtown Minneapolis late Monday night, endangering drivers and pedestrians. Police responded to these areas to help. However, people wouldn't listen to police commands in some cases. Fireworks shots were being. It's crazy. We're going to show the video of what happened, but they were like shooting off fireworks at police,
At
at
least
EMS personnel.
yes. That's the craziest thing. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm gonna pull up this video in like just 2 seconds. But like, this is insanity. This is came into my feed, and I was just blown away, and so I had to do some more research on it. So let me pull this up right now. So let's start over here. So this is just, imagine this is going out now. They're shooting bottle rockets. They're shooting just actual. What was that there? They're shooting like the actual fireworks, the big bursting things that go in the sky in the middle of the street. I mean, it is a war zone. It looks like something out of a movie, and I got to tell you, like I'm just like how there was. I think there were 7 people that were injured. Some of them were not critically injured, but severely injured. And the
Yeah.
thing of it was, well, all these explosions and stuff was going on. There was other violence going on in the same area. People were. I don't believe I'm going to show that on here, but there was actually a gunfight that happened in the midst of all this was going on too. So it was kind of harder to decipher what was gunfire and what was fireworks. But here, I mean, just hit a car. And I have this foot. I'm going to let this footage run for a little bit because I have another. And you just see they're just coming out of the cars. It's just explosions.
Yeah, and so
I
guys, I mean,
mean,
we're dealing with things of, for example, this is clearly disorderly conduct. I mean, but this is attempted assault and battery. But we also know there was actual assault and battery, and I would argue with a deadly weapon. The fireworks are a deadly weapon. And then what about these
look at that.
drivers?
Just right there, right behind the pole. Look at it. Oh, like now. Listen, if I knew I was gonna be, I mean, I mean, it looks crazy. It looks like something out of a movie. It looks like it would be fun if nobody got hurt, but people are getting hurt. And this is not only that, like you could start a fire. It's just people are just driving recklessly. What if somebody was running across the street because they were scared while these cars are coming and it just hits them? It's this is terrifying. And I got to tell you, like we have outside of our home, 4th of July and New Year's, days before and days after. I'm kind of a Scrooge when it comes to holidays. Um, I'm not really that into them, but like the fireworks that go on all night and people just going nuts in the streets, I'm always afraid they're going to shoot a bottle rocket on the roof of somewhere and it's going to burn somebody's house down. Nobody's trained to do this stuff.
Tim makes such a good point. I mean, the fact that obviously there was so much happening at once, but Tim's like, if I went out, I'd be arrested if I just flicked my lighter on. I think some people would obviously agree with him, but they actually have not arrested anyone.
Nobody
yet.
has been arrested.
That's the crazy part. Despite all this footage, right, to where I would assume someone got a license plate. Why haven't they made an arrest yet?
Right. I mean, this is insanity. So
yeah, Sean says, wow, unfortunately, this doesn't even surprise me. This is in Minnesota. Yep. And this is obviously just one isolated kind of event. There's a lot of things that are, what are you doing?
just trying to make pretty and look sense.
There is obviously a lot happening on the 4th of July, and you made a comment obviously about neighbors shooting off fireworks, and just are you going to burn down the neighborhood because someone's being negligent
No, listen.
and they shoot something to a building by accident? But here we have people who are actively shooting not only buildings but trying to shoot pedestrians. And my question too is, were there minors in the street? Because then we have child endangerment on top of everything else.
But real talk, this is like the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like real talk. Like I can't even imagine. Like I thought it was bad. Like I said, kind of where we live. If I looked outside and that was going on, I don't even know what I would do. Like, oh my God, I would just be like panicked that just buildings are going to catch on fire and just people are just going to get shot in the face or burned and permanently scarred. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how fun. I think that this one's a little scary for me anyway, Pablo.
Like I said, if it was just some crazy, like if nobody got hurt, like if this was like laser tag that you're showing me and they just had cool laser tag and this was like I don't know. It looks crazy. It looks very impressive on a screen in real life. The reality of what was going on had to have been insane. Look at that. I mean, that's just insane looking.
Yeah, and
I've seen this thing like 1,000 times. I love it. It's the craziest video I've ever seen.
From the criminal standpoint, obviously, I'm talking about things like reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct, assault, battery. But obviously, there were private claims as well. The business owners of these buildings, the private residents. I don't know if glass was broken. So unfortunately, these people are, at least as of now, are not going to be able to get any kind of resolution or to bring a claim because they don't know who did this.
Well, the thing of it is too. So like this kind of fun, right? So I was young. I remember when you were a kid, you'd have your little Roman candle things, and if you're out at the beach or something in Mexico and you're buying fireworks, everyone's shooting things at each other, and it's kind of whatever, and kind of a more safe environment. I mean, that's crazy too. Don't get me wrong. Don't do that. Please do not play with fireworks. But this is so unbelievably next level. Like I don't give a kind of like,
yeah, and I'm just trying to gauge, because obviously it's not just who is in this first vehicle. I don't know how many people were doing this. Sean on YouTube, how much of this was alcohol induced? I mean, I think maybe none of it.
None of it. Like I'm saying, like kids. I mean, some of this stuff is not unheard of. What's unheard of is they're driving around in cars and doing it in the middle of a busy city. That's where it is. That's the difference here. Like I said, I've seen people have fun with fireworks and they're playing games and trust me, like my older brother would get in trouble, but this is just so next level in the middle of it's just crazy.
Chris says this used to happen a lot in the town I grew up when I was younger. Not sure.
Yeah,
if it
it's
happens
not unheard of
because I left almost 20 years ago. Yeah, no, and I think that was kind of Pablo's point as well.
God bless mobile videos. God bless people with their camera phones, man. Just captions. This is, like I said, I love this. I love this. It's crazy. It's crazy footage that somebody got, but terrifying. And stop. Leave fireworks to the professionals in Disneyland.
All right, so moving on. Here, let me close this down for you. Here we go. All right, moving on. An ice cream truck is hitting the road and giving people a dish best served cold by selling popsicles modeled after everyone's favorite or least favorite billionaires. All right, so Eat the Rich ice cream truck selling billionaire popsicles. Musk is our #1 seller. All right, let's talk about this.
So let's see this guy right here. Yeah, this is nuts. Oh, it's doing it again. I'm gonna stop doing this. I just want it all on the screen.
It's all right.
So
No, it's
so
fun.
you remember these popsicles? I remember getting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the Mickey Mouse ones. The different, what Tweety Bird was a big popular ice cream that you would get these things in the shapes of. But now, yeah, they're Jeff Bezos, Jack Ma, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. Like that is crazy.
Yeah, so here, let me pull it up on my side just so I could see a little bit better. Yeah, so I want to see everyone that they have here on the website. In fact, let me look it up. Let me go to the
Let me
actual
see.
website. Because here, guys, I mean, let me give you kind of the broad stroke once over on this. So when it comes to there we go. When it comes to using someone's name and likeness, right, for your product, even if it's kind of like this temporary product, like an ice cream, right, it's going to melt, it's going to, be consumed quickly. Nonetheless, you are supposed to get permission, right? So, did this person go and get permission from each of these celebrities? I doubt it. So that's one thing when we're talking about the right to someone's publicity and the right to use their name, the right to use their likeness, and to put it on an actual product, right? These are deals that are heavily negotiated. I mean, later on in the show, we're going to be talking about how Snow the Product is now doing a collaboration with McDonald's, right? So for McDonald's to use her name, her likeness, they did a whole deal with her. So that's kind of the consideration that we're looking at when it comes to these big names being used, not only their face, but the name itself for the ice cream.
Yeah, no, that's just pretty crazy. Like I can't even imagine like what kind of trouble that these guys could possibly get in, and just the fact that they're going after. I mean, this is light work for Jeff Bezos' attorney.
Yeah, and sometimes a lot of these things just kind of slip under the radar for a while because, if you have someone who's illegally selling shirts, right, for a band that they don't have rights to sell the shirts for the pictures and things like that, they get away with it for a certain period of time until usually, it just catches up with them, right? They get on someone's radar, they're now getting cease and desist. And the worst things that can happen is that if you are successful, then the attorney's coming after you to not only tell you to stop, the attorney's telling you to give me the money.
Yeah.
I want you to stop and give me the money that you made using my client's face. So, it's a great idea.
It looks like it's a small operation, but I mean, $10 a pop. I got to tell you, if I saw one,
would you get it?
It does look fun. I mean, because there's the obvious social media Instagram post that you're gonna take with you in your ice cream bar, and it's a novelty. I mean, it's definitely funny. It's definitely fun. But I think if this ever really caught on, it's gonna be a small business because if it ever caught on, you're gonna get in trouble. But TMZ is reporting this, so now people are on alert.
Parking lot shirts at concerts. Yeah, and I mean,
Listen,
look, people
we could have a
can
whole
make
show
some
on
quick
that.
people can make some quick money, no problem. But you're not supposed to. It's copyright infringement. You're violating not only the copyright of the person who owns the picture, but the likeness. You have issues of that. So it just sucks also for bands where they have their little merch person inside selling shirts, and then there's people making bank outside.
And a warning to all you out there that are buying concert t-shirts outside of the venue, please check your spelling of your t-shirts. Look at them front and back. I can't even tell you how many bootleg shirts I've seen outside of concerts where they spell the artist's name wrong or just something is completely wrong. Because you got to remember, these are like businesses. These aren't fans making these shirts. These are like the same people that are the scalpers, and they're going out and they're just they have a printing thing. They're quickly printing up these shirts and upmarking them. So at your own risk.
They got me 2021 shirt at 2022 concert.
Yep, I'm telling you, you got to be careful. You got to be careful for those bootlegs, man. But sometimes they sell out of the shirts inside. You walk outside, you're like, and then everybody goes, "What is that? A bootleg shirt?" Yeah, it's a bootleg shirt. Just own it. Just own it.
That's funny.
It was like,
all right,
remember Hot Topic shirts, right? So there was like the Hot Topic shirts where you'd kind of get band shirts and they'd have the real kind of shirts, and then you'd go to like Spencer's, and then they would have
Oh, right.
the licensed shirts. So they're the real shirts, the licensed version. So like usually for the Spencer shirts, like they'd have the printing on the front, but there would be nothing on back. But the real shirts would have stuff on back, but they'd only get the front image. Yeah, so you gotta watch out for that too, and especially in independent record stores.
Ultimate Musing says only buy the artist official shirts because I know it helps support the band. Love that.
I love that, but a lot of artists leave money on the table and they do not make band shirts. I can't even tell you how many artists
Well,
don't
no,
have them.
and look, we've had this conversation because you're like my favorite bands just aren't, doing so. Sometimes, your only option is to go and
Your
find
only
something that's
option, because
bootlegged.
if you're trying to rep something and you're trying to promote something, I bought shirts that that aren't official. But I can't even tell you how many I bought that are. That I try to find, but if they're like a old shirt that is out of print, or if it's a band that's no longer around and you can't find something, but some fan made some cool stuff, yeah, no, I'll check it out. Or if it's like clearly not trying to be like an official shirt, but it's like some kind of art, like or whatever, like I have no problem with that. Like, but the artist would. I'm saying me, I have no problem with that.
All right. Well, and on that note, if you want to get a Miss Krystle shirt, go to misskrystle.com. Those are the official ones.
Yes,
And we'll,
yes.
we'll work on the top music attorney ones. All right. So to transition before we get to the next story, so this made me laugh. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm currently air drying right now. And I'm also really hot. I don't know if it's the lights. I don't know what's happening. It must be all the B1. Maybe it's all the B1 we took. So
No,
I'm,
but
I'm
you were.
air drying and feeling
Oh, I thought you were
fluffy.
gonna. I thought you were gonna talk about something else about your hair, about just how much easier it is for you to maintain it, and how much you're enjoying that process, enjoying your journey.
Yeah, so in the music video that you guys watched, my hair was all red at that point, and then I had black. So from here down. So we've kind of done the reverse, right? So now the dark is the predominant color, and then we have a little bit of the red in the front. But I'll tell you what, I just love it so much. I love brunettes in general.
Yeah, I
And I
think you
think
look
the
great.
red's still rocking and all that, but the amount of time difference from what I used to have to do in my hair to what I'm doing now, it's just I'm living the dream. All right, moving on. So Metallica, Master of Puppets, cracked Billboard Hot 100 chart for the first time ever after being featured in Stranger Things. Now, we
Yes.
covered this when they were first starting to get a little traction, right? Following, the placement in Stranger Things, the hit Netflix TV show. And then, Metallica just really embracing it. They did a TikTok side by side with the key moment in the show, and it was great. Good for them. So now they're continuing to ramp up in the charts.
Now this is incredible. Now they've had plenty of top 100 hits, but this is the first time that Master of Puppets has hit it. They've had a number 10 hit with Until It Sleeps, and then Inner Sandman, which is, I argue, probably the song that really kind of broke them into the more of the mainstream, where their fans started to slightly turn on them, but was probably one of their most phenomenal records. That hit number 16. But no, this is super excited. Obviously, it's the Eddie Munson guitar scene. That just took the placement world by storm.
30
Metallica
years
just jumping
after
up.
their release.
They're on
See, it
number.
gets a
They're
nice
number
little bump.
40. Number 40 on the charts right now. As you know, like Stranger Things is just a placement on Stranger Things is going to just do wonders for your career.
No.
Now, Kate Bush is, she's currently right now on the Hot 100 at number 4. She's been on the chart for 26 weeks, and last week she was at number 6. So she's continuing to climb, and that's the power of streaming.
Still number one on the UK charts, right? So that's in the United States. She's starting to climb up.
I'm strictly talking about the Billboard US charts right now, but I'm just saying the power of streaming, the power of being able to. Back in the day when shows would run, they would run once, and then you'd have to wait till the season was over, and the summertime for them to run a repeat of the episode, and maybe you'd see the placement again. Now people are discovering these shows every day. I mean, I can't even imagine how many times that episode is being seen a day, not just on a Wednesday night. So it's incredible. I can't wait for the new season of Stranger Things. I'm super excited for Metallica. All the new Metallica fans, Welcome to the party. I don't care if you are 14 and just discovered Metallica through Stranger Things. Fantastic. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party from Kate Bush. Come on in. The water's fine. Enjoy these
So
artists. Dig deep in the catalog and have a good time.
for the
Wear your
Eddie
shirt with pride.
Munson scene, I had this thought, right? So he's, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm about to say,
Yeah, tune out.
something not so good happens to dear old Eddie. Later on. And my question was, because it's like this heroic thing. He's like, no, I'm going back in, and he cuts the sheet, and he's like wasting time doing that, but he's doing his thing. And then he runs out so that the creatures, flying batty, whatever they are,
Things.
creatures, can chase him. And so he's like, I'm gonna buy them more time. But my question is, the creatures were still trying to attack the house and them, so they weren't really trying to like go anywhere. So in his heroic moment and being brave, obviously that is what it is. And it was a beautiful moment and tears everywhere. But my question when I was watching that is, I'm like, who did he save? How is he buying more time? And I might have just missed it. So in the chat, help me.
Yeah, help her out with those Stranger Things. No, the whole thing was a distraction from everything to keep all those things occupied.
No, I
so they
get
could
that.
get
But afterwards, rather than just kind of going through the portal, right, to safety,
it.
I didn't quite understand why he needed to continue to distract them, because they weren't leaving. They weren't like, oh, here they go, and I need to now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think you missed. I don't think I missed anything on that. But I will say about the Eddie Munson guitar scene that is going to be long lived as one of the most iconic guitar scenes, probably only matched on the same tier with a Prince in Purple Rain and Brandon Lee in The Crow. I think those are two. I actually kind of probably compare the Stranger Things more to the Brandon Lee and the Crow scene where he's on the rooftop strumming away. But it was a fantastic moment and I loved it. I can't wait for the new season. Keep listening to Kate Bush. Keep listening to Metallica.
All right. So on that note, let's go back to just the criminality continues. So at a Little Baby concert, we had, you could say zealous fans, or what do you call them, stage crashers, who
Yeah, stage crashers.
were jumping on the stage. And we have some video of what happened and what the response was. And it's a little shocking. So if you're watching this currently, or if you watch the segment a little bit later, be advised, this is a little violent. But Securtiy took action to grab one of the stage fans, and threw him off the stage, but it was a little aggressive, and he went kind of face forward, or at least what it looks like, face first into the barricade. So I don't know if you have that, but let's pull that up.
Yeah. Let me pull that up right now. So I think it loops right on Instagram. So this is the footage. You got the fan on stage. He's like, oh my God. And then that guy just right into that. Yikes.
So you don't see the actual where his head or neck collide with the barricade, but that was yikes.
Oh, yeah, you kind of do. You kind of do. Can you pause these things? Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can catch this guy. Let me see.
Pause.
Oh! So you got right there. Yeah, I mean, there's his head.
Oof. Yeah.
I mean, and those are metal barricades that, that hurt. I was in an incident when I was like 16 where Securtiy shoved me into we can just keep this loop. Where Securtiy shoved me into a barricade and I still have a scar from it. Those things are incredibly dangerous. Now, this guy I don't know if this guy is event security or if he is Lil Baby's personal security. But this shoving of kids off the stage that crash the stage or whatever is nothing new. I mean, this isn't a
No, and there's a legal basis to do this, but I'll walk through that. So for you, it's something you actually experienced at a show. But the way this works, guys, is that we don't know what was about to happen, right? We just had for example, Dave Chappelle, right? We had someone who got on stage to potentially do something. Did they have a weapon? What was about to happen? So you want security to act. If it was me, I would absolutely want my security to get that person off the stage. I wouldn't want anything to happen to that person, but obviously I don't know if he intended to.
Yeah, but that's not. I would think that the way that you would want to remove somebody like that from the stage is to pull them back behind stage, not shove them forward. Because if you're shoving them into something, you have no control. You're basically shoving them molding. You know that they're going to fall at least 8 feet. There's nowhere else they can go. Whereas
Okay,
if you
so
take them
then
back, you what a lot of shows is they'll take them back down and around the side of the stage. This is from experience of playing hundreds of shows. They will take them back around off the stage on the back, and then you'll get escorted out of the venue from the side. So to shove forward off of a building, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, and so guys, we look at whether there's been excessive force, right? So, the person, if he was harmed, if he had to go to the emergency room, he broke his neck, he could never walk again, he may be able to bring a claim, anyone can file a lawsuit, but the question is, was there excessive force used? Because you are allowed to defend as a security
Right.
person, the person you're there to protect. So, sorry, that person kind of, took on that responsibility when he crashed the stage and knew that something was going to happen. So, security person acts, does his job. There was provocation, throws him off the stage. And so, quite frankly, I think that a claim might not stand up whatsoever. Right. But then let's for the argument's sake, let's look at the venue. Right. Does the venue have any responsibility because of maybe where the gate was placed? Right. I don't know. I'm reaching here. I'm reaching here.
I don't know. I think you're right as far as I don't think that, a claim will be hard to do, but at the same point, like, that is incredibly excessive and the wrong way. Like, I saw somebody in the crowd, it might not be enough time to take him back. Fair enough. You don't know if somebody has something. But I think the way to do it is down, not pushing them off a fucking 8-foot stage where you don't
that
know
was definitely
into
a drop,
metal.
right? What was that? A 5
Yeah, look at
drop?
that.
It
I mean, it's
it was
taller. It's
a
taller
decent
than
drop
all of those
onto
securities.
what looks like, concrete. But, when you have an unlawful act, it's almost like provocation. So it's tough for someone when you do something you're not supposed to, or you're breaking the law, and then you end up getting hurt as a result of what you're doing. It's very difficult for you to then come back and say, well, I'm suing you because, in your defense of the artist, I was hurt.
Yeah. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, let me go to the chat here really fast. Chris, let's see. Exactly as Lamb of God found out a few years ago when the fan died, when the singer pushed them off the stage, right? Guys, all right, that's a great example when it comes to bands. This happens a lot with, shows. People get on the stage, they try to kind of get into it with band members. They're trying to mess with the band members' equipment. They're grabbing guitars. You have the right under the law to defend yourself, to defend others, and to defend your property, even if that ends up resulting in harm to someone else. So, I think that and this wasn't the end of it, right? This wasn't the only fan. There's another thing that's coming. We're gonna look at.
There's another incident that happened at the same festival, and I believe where did this happen? In like Switzerland or something? I believe it was like in Switzerland. This festival. Yeah, Switzerland, at the open air Frauenfeld Festival. I had a similar situation on stage. So I'll tell a quick little story about, I was, attacked on stage one time when I was playing. I just bought this brand new Schecter guitar, and it was fantastic, and I was really excited. It was my first show playing, and this drunk fan was really excited at the show, and he decided to reach out and grab my guitar and try to yank it off of me, and like it was a whole thing. Now Securtiy had dealt with him. Maybe I shouldn't tell that story as much, but let's just say that, this is something that happens like everywhere. Everybody has fans that have jumped on stage. You hear a lot of situations where, rock bands have like they'll kick. I can think of a rocker in particular who used to say, this is my place of work. If, like, just like with heavy machinery, if you come on stage, then you better be ready to do business, or, suffer the consequences. And he would, throw them off stage or kick them in the face when they would try to get on stage. And,
Yeah, and it doesn't mean anyone can bring a lawsuit. It doesn't mean you're not going to get sued. The band's not getting sued. Pablo says, yes, beat his ass. That's so disrespectful to hop onto someone's stage or set. Like Dave Chappelle, he could have been killed or seriously injured. And that's the thing. We've seen things like Ariana Grande, right? There's this was a couple of years ago, but she's on stage and she's doing this somber moment in the show. And I think her eyes are closed or something, and she's like on her knees. And you see someone coming up who had gone on the stage behind her. And it took a moment for anyone in security or anyone else to respond, and he, you know, like we didn't know what was going to happen. So it's a scary thing, and so you have to kind of, you know, find that fine line of, if you are security, you have to defend the person you are there to protect. But obviously, watching that video was a little crazy.
It was a little tense. Now, I don't want anybody to get me wrong. That guy had no business being on stage. I'm just saying that it looks like you're pushing him off a building, and that just, there's got to be a better way than that to do it. He had no business being on stage. I'm not saying that he was right, or, you know, he's the victim. He should have known better. But nonetheless, I mean, I just, that looked pretty hardcore. And I just know from experience how, we'll say, intense security guards can be, especially, you know, in a club scene or a venue scene like this.
Yeah, but that's not where it ended, right? So where did this go?
That's not where it ended. So, you know, there was late also at that show, Roddy Ricch had a similar incident. Let me see if I can pull that guy up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick refresh while you do that.
We are having some moving and shaking on this podcast today. Appreciate y'all hanging out. All right, so I guess this is from TikTok. And, you know, he had a similar situation where a fan came up on...
Yeah, and you see him looking at the fan.
Now the fan tries to grab his shoe, and then he comes up behind while he's already down and kicks him off the stage.
Yeah, so he took it a step further, right? That person had already been apprehended by security. He was already being shoved off the stage, and then obviously there was the additional kicks, it looks like, to the torso area. You know, I don't know how much damage that could have done, but you never know.
But this is a situation where I don't think Roddy should have had anything to do with it. It was already been taken care of. For him to go over and involve himself when somebody is already down, to me, that just looks like a punk move. To me, he looks like a punk. Like, the guy was already down. He was already tackled by enough security guards for it to go after he's already down, being restrained, to go up behind him and kick it. Like, that's lame. Now, that being said, I do like Roddy Ricch's music, so let's not get it twisted there. But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's a punk move. That's a punk move. It was already taken care of. Look at these guys. They had it handled, but he had to put his 2 cents in. Stupid.
I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? In those moments,
you gotta look cool. So
yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful for sure.
And, you know, and then also Cardi B had a similar kind of situation in London. I'll just mention real quickly, where people thought that she was above the fans, and it looked like she was hitting her microphone and hitting a fan. She's claimed that, you know, it was all good. It wasn't a fight, but that was also captured. So you're just seeing a lot of altercations in between fans and artists on stage. But again, this is nothing new.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you know, you have things like the Travis Scott, you know, Astroworld Festival tragedy, where people actually are dying, where people are going to the hospital, and you have things that happen where there's like extreme injury and casualties, and, you know, we're looking at billions of dollars in lawsuits, and, you know, not to take away from any of these kind of scenarios where, you know, fans are hurt, you know, or because they were jumping on the stage, but it just goes back to what I was saying. If there's a provocation that comes into this, right? If you're going to claim you were hurt, were you the one that was provoking the situation, doing something that was illegal, or putting someone else's life in harm, or giving them the perception that you are putting their life in harm's way? So therefore, security's going to pop up.
And just remember that, you know, everybody has their cameras out at all time. If you have security there, just trust your security. I guess, you know, in the instance of Lil Baby, security got a little excited, but you didn't see, you know, Lil Baby jumping off the stage and, you know, or spitting on him afterwards. I mean, we've seen Travis Scott get into fights where he is like literally just yelling at the crowd to punch, you know, somebody that took a shoe or whatever, and he's like punching and hitting people. Like, let your security take care of that stuff. Don't get involved. You don't need that heat. Everyone's watching. It's on film.
Yeah. All right. So, you know, we were talking about potentially doing this musicians calling each other out. So there was a video that went viral, and it's a compilation of, you know, some super old footage, you know, different bands kind of calling each other out and getting into it. It's really interesting and kind of fun to watch. I don't know if you want to try going through it. I don't know if we're gonna have audio issues, and maybe we should
Yeah,
save that.
I'm not running the audio. I'm refreshing because it seems we're getting a lot of I'm getting a lot of on my side. How's the audio in the chat? Let us know how the audio in chat is. I'm getting a lot of clips and distortion. That's probably happened about 4 times in the stream. So I just want to make sure that we are doing okay. Because I mean, we could try it, or we can move on to the. We have that one more story about Snow the product.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's do the snow. We'll try to figure it out for the next one since that's kind of a longer one. So yeah, guys, Snow the product. We have covered her on this channel as far as reacting to music videos. We reacted to an interview that she did. This channel is all about empowered independent artists and empowering independent artists to stay independent, to stay legally protected. And Snow is definitely an example of that. So we were just kind of, over the weekend seeing that she's kind of doing this collab with McDonald's, which is huge.
This
and
is
so proud of her.
so
That's
exciting.
great.
This is so exciting. I'm so excited for Snow right now. The fact that as an independent artist, she has made this collaboration with McDonald's. She has a let me pull it up on the screen. We're doing a lot of things right now. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Okay. She has her own landing page on McDonald's icytracks.com. It's just very excited to see any independent artist make any kind of moves. And Snow has been on Queen of the South. Snow has selling out tours on her own, doing her own promotion, doing all of her own stuff. And now she has landed a collaboration with McDonald's, and it's to promote their icy new drinks. Yeah, I'm just so excited for her.
Yeah, and oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say it features her song. I would play it, but it features her song "Koso," which came out a little bit before, which means how embarrassing.
Yeah, no, and for any time I'm working with my artists and talking about the importance of your brand and connecting with your audience and that they will really empower you. I mean, the fact that a big brand like McDonald's is going to approach an independent artist is just because she has the influence, right? She has the audience. And so it doesn't matter whether she's signed with a big record label or she's independent, they're wanting to get her influence to her audience. And, so that's why they do this collaboration. And that's, in the, there's a video that she released on her channel just talking about it, just being like, look, like my kid loves McDonald's. Who doesn't love McDonald's? And just talking about how much she loves her fans. So it was more than anything, the reason we wanted to cover this is just because we love Snow the product. We love what she's doing. Yeah, and it's amazing. She's just continuing to kind of grow in her career, and I think she posted on socials with like Gary Vaynerchuk, she like big things in the works.
Yeah,
so,
no, she's making such big moves and such an inspiration for up and coming artists, whether you're in the rap game or not. Just to see how hard an artist can work. She has her own podcast. It's fantastic. So congratulations, Snow. Really, really, really big news for you. If I was eating McDonald's right now, I would go and have an icy drink just so I can support and tell them that Snow sent me. But I am pre-diabetic and I'm not drinking this right now.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I was having a conversation with someone, and they're like, if you end up becoming a big pop star and they want to do like a Pepsi sponsorship deal, are you going to do it? Because I'm very anti things that are going to kill you slowly, including junk food and pop and things like that. And I don't know. I would if I had a big partner approach me like this, I would be like, what can we do to kind of put something healthier on the menu that's kind of more my brand? But it's just about doing something that's like honest to what you are and what you do. And if you eat that thing and if that's what you want to promote, like that's cool.
The way she's, if you watch her video that she released, if you go to the website and you see it, when she tells her story about her connection with McDonald's, I mean, it's a very familiar story to how I grew up as, I'm now pre-diabetic, so I don't know. But, I just think that it was a true story to her and she's connecting it. I guess if you could react to any kind of, or if you could, sponsor any kind of food chain, what would it be? I know for me, it would probably be Taco Bell because that's actually probably my favorite fast foodie place. Or like In-N-Out, but what would yours be?
I don't know. I'd probably all bootstrap in a collaboration with some like B1 supplement company. Cause that's my kick right now. That's what we doing. Yeah, so everyone's loving snow. I dig it. McDonald's does a salad, is that what you're saying?
They
Personally, I
used
quite like
to.
it. Yeah. There's this bodybuilder that I follow, so I'm like his 1% of the audience that's actually like a chick following him, but he's like, I went from being, this scrawny little, guy to now this big bulky whatever, and he's like, I'm just genetically not inclined. And so I started following him because I'm like, I want to be a big strong man too. and
I gotta tell
and
you,
so
we were in the gym a couple of days ago, and you were working, you're working your machines and you're doing all your things. Like
yeah.
you're kind of getting cut back there a little bit.
Watch
I was
out.
noticing. I was
Watch
noticing.
out. Well, anyway, so a part of it is to obviously bulk up and get the calories in. And so this guy that I follow, he's like getting the salads from McDonald's and all these fast food places. And he's like, it's quite good. He doesn't care about fast food. I'm more snooty. I'm like, no, it has to be this, then it has to be that.
I love fast food. I'm just not eating it right now. I'm gonna be back on track
Yeah.
though. Get back on that horse.
You better watch yourself.
Mexican pizzas, here I come.
Oh, thank you, Jen. Please send your super chats. I appreciate that. Let's get some treats for Ripley. Okay, so yeah, actually, let's see. We can try. Let's maybe do the video. Let's do the video on Friday's show. Let's see if we can figure it out because we need to probably have the audio off. But I really want to do this, guys. It's this compilation of these bands like hating each other, and it's interesting because from the legal standpoint, we deal with this internally within the band. We deal with this also bands attacking other bands, whether it arises to actual, an altercation, something physical, or they're kind of going back and forth, and now we have defamation claims. It's a hot mess, but it's interesting, so we can go through
Yeah,
that
no, I mean
on Friday's show.
it's definitely fun, and we're just really just trying to react to just different kinds of videos too, and just kind of talking about things that we're seeing going viral and social media, and that obviously is in front of everybody's attention. So always feel free in the comments down below to let us know what you are watching. Let us know who you're listening to. Let us know what artists you're interested in. I think it's just incredibly important that we have an open dialogue with our community and our communities talking with each other. I love seeing you guys have your conversations with yourselves in the chats and networking and just kind of doing your thing, because that's what this is. This is a community where artists and fans of music can get together and just want to get a little inside information on how things work from a real professional like Miss Krystle, Miss Top Music Attorney. And
I know.
we just really love doing this show for you guys.
Yeah, and we love you guys. Thank you again for the 44,000 on Top Music Attorney Instagram. And of course, if you guys, I saw, we have some artists and rappers in the chat. If you do need help, there's free stuff on topmusicattorney.com. Like, for example, there's a course on how to, protect yourself and learn about contracts, learn how to negotiate them and not get scammed. So make sure you check out the free stuff. There's also more deep dive things if you need help building a record label and all that jazz. I gotcha. So we're going to end this and we're going to go through one new music video. So this is Dukes Up, the piano version. And some of you know kind of the backstory on this. I'll just reiterate it. So I did Dukes Up the piano version as a special rendition for my TEDx that I gave.
Yes.
And so I'd give my little talk, and then at the end I do a little piano thing where I'm singing. And, it went over really well, which I was happy about. And so we ended up actually releasing it. So that's what we are going to be watching.
It's a very, very fun video that we shot with a very small crew. And so
Yeah, we just went out like downtown in our city and we were just like
downtown
shooting
Phoenix
stuff.
and we shot this, and we ran into some nice people along the way, and we met this guy that let us shoot a little bit on his balcony that overlooked the city, which was really cool. But this is a perfect example of a video that was done with little to zero budget, and that you can make things happen with a very small skeleton crew and still have a really cool visualizer. So we hope you enjoy this. Dukes Up. Make sure you're following everybody on social media. You following Miss Krystle on her Spotify's and Pandora's and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Top
and
Music
come
Attorney.
and come to the show, right? So come to the live stream on Thursday on Miss Krystle
Yes.
Instagram. We'll be
Yes.
singing some songs and getting
It's really
weird.
good. I gotta tell you, I really love it when it's just you and a piano. And this piano version of Duke's Up is great. So I hope you guys like it, and follow me at that Orko on Instagram. Thanks, guys.
Let's do it.
Never gonna hold me back. I can take care of me. And up and down me, you see. What you think about that, baby? Every now and then I gotta take control. Lay some gloves up and then I'll let it go. Knock 'em all out so everybody know. Knock 'em all out. I go hard, stay gritty. So tough in the city. I go hard and I'm ready to prove stuff. So I gotta keep 'em dukes out. What I want, I'm gonna take. I'ma take what I want. I'm not gonna wait to go hard. And I'm ready to prove stuff. So I gotta keep 'em dukes out. Call me on that do or die. I stay dukes up, I'll make it. Just another game to play with. Everything is all for the taking. Every now and then I gotta take control. Lay some gloves up and then I'll let it go. Knock 'em all out so everybody know. Knock 'em all out so everybody know. Stay gritty, so tough in the city. I go hard and I'm ready to prove stuff. So I gotta keep 'em dukes out. What I want, I'm gonna take. I'ma take what I want. I'm not gonna wait to go hard. And I'm ready to prove stuff. So I gotta keep 'em dukes What I want, I'm gonna take. I'ma take what I want. I'm not gonna wait to go hard. And I'm ready to prove stuff. So I gotta keep 'em dukes. So I gotta keep 'em dukes. So I gotta keep 'em dukes. Never gonna hold me back. I can take care of me. In up and down me, you see. What you think about that, baby?